Welcome back to Witness Richness. It's your boy JCP, back with another video. And listen, in today's video, super casual, as I kind of want it to be as I make these videos. Right now I'm in the office and I'm kind of preparing myself for the week, just kind of going through things, reflecting, thinking about what's gonna come up next, what I wanna do next, what's next in my goal, just make sure I strengthen those visions that I have and I keep in my mind. Listen, so in today's video, I wanna talk about credit. Now, a lot of people may not have great credit, which I'm speaking statistically of, obviously. The problem is people, or the majority of the consumers who are in debt, aren't using the credit strategically to have debt that actually produces an income, right? So you're using debt to acquire assets. Most people who are in consumer credit card debt, student loans, mortgages for properties that aren't producing income, car notes, all those kind of expenses are liabilities. And a lot of Americans, a lot of us, especially me in the beginning when I first started acquiring credit and using credit, I was using credit just to buy things, buying liabilities, meaning that things that were gonna cost me money residually. I was signing myself up for automatic payments on cars, on credit cards to buy things I didn't need, taking vacations and just putting things on credit where it was just like, wait, I'm paying for things that I don't have the money now to pay for, and I'm gonna have to set up a payment plan for the next 4 or 5, whatever it is, years, months to pay it back. That is a liability versus an asset that, if you use your credit to leverage your credit to acquire an asset, you have an income producing asset making you money every single month. So there's, creating wealth, and then there's creating more bills to pay. With that being said, there are so many different types of credit that are out there and that are available to all of us. And usually all it takes is for your personal credit score to be okay. You can leverage your personal credit to acquire bigger credit from bigger banks and bigger institutions, or even smaller institutions like credit unions. Like, for example, let's say you wanted to buy a laundromat, and you look at the laundromat. It has a profit and loss statement. It has tax returns. It's a profitable laundromat. And you, as a business person, thinking, well, I can go in there and actually increase some of these sales and decrease some of these expenses and take this current laundromat and make it, more valuable. Now, how do I do that? Well, the laundromat costs $50,000. That's just for the equipment and for the tools to purchase. That doesn't include the lease. Well, my credit is decent, so I have no problem getting the lease. But how am I getting the $50,000 to buy this business? You can actually go to small credit unions and apply for a business loan. And they would give you a business loan up to a certain dollar amount, and you have to put down a down payment. Now, if you have the capital for that down payment, you're good to go. Or if you have the credit, you can actually borrow that down payment from somewhere else. Use those two lines of credit and acquire an asset, which is a laundromat that is making money every single month. That's just one kind of an example, because a lot of people don't realize that you can actually buy a business with a bank loan. That is possible. They have hard money loans, which is, again, we talked about that in one of my last videos. That is a loan between you and a private institute who offers you a line of credit or offers you, a loan based off of the actual asset you're buying. There's construction loans, there's personal loans, there's business loans. There are so many lines of credit available other than what the average consumer uses them for, which is a car loan, a mortgage that's not producing income, student loans, credit card debt for vacations and purchases for things they don't really have the money to buy anyway. If you get out of using credit for just consumer debt and start using credit strategically to acquire assets, which is going to build long-term wealth, you'll be on the other side of the equation. So here is an example of leveraging your credit. On my first deal, I borrowed $5,000 from my father-in-law, and then I borrowed $95,000 from the bank. Put those two together, I purchased a property. In return from that property, I got $1,000 a month and a bunch of appreciation into that property. But how to get that property? I leveraged credit. I never put any money out of pocket and I started making money. Credit is made up. The banks give credit and it's all made up. It's just made up money. The banks start collecting interest on credit that was never even. So it's just poof, pops out of thin air. So don't be afraid to use it strategically to acquire assets and make some money poof, pop out of thin air for yourself. There are so many businesses and so many endeavors that you can get into that do not require for you to leverage credit or use so much credit. So, I'm not like enticing you, inviting you to just go use credit for no reason. If you can use credit strategically to change your life, like I did myself, go for it. So listen, if you don't know your credit score off the top of your head, then that would mean, first and foremost, that you are not somebody who's using their credit strategically to acquire assets or to build a portfolio of any sort. You're not strategically using your credit, which is a major disadvantage. You can have a great paying job, you can have a bunch of money in the bank, you can have a trust fund, you can have so many things, but at the end of the day, have your credit prepped and ready to leverage at any given moment. Even if you don't need to utilize your credit, you should have your credit prepped, pretty, monitored, and ready to go at any given moment. Another way that I utilize my credit, and again, I've made another video on this already, because I had decent credit on my personal side, I was able to acquire $40,000 in business credit. So there we go. I built a decent credit score and I leveraged personal credit to get business credit. Now with the business credit, it no longer reports to my personal credit as long as the payments are being made. So I was able to acquire 40 grand in capital to make a purchase and buy another income producing asset. And all that came from credit. So the point I'm trying to make as I'm driving this home, credit is very important. And you should know the credit score like the back of your hand in 2019. If you have a credit card and if you have a cell phone, because pretty much you can have any free credit monitoring service app available through the Google research. There's plenty of them out there, and monitor your credit and know your credit. And even if you don't have to use your credit, even if you don't want to use your credit, cool. Have your credit prepped and pretty and ready to go and be utilized and leveraged at any given moment because credit is crucial. Now, with that being said, let me take a shot. That's why I'm sitting here right now. And I really don't hope you mind I missed that one. Being super casual in today's video, it's a holiday, and I really want to talk about the mindset behind credit and using it the right way. Before, I was using my credit to, buy BMWs. Oh, that one over there again. Before, I was using my credit to buy cars. I bought two BMWs. I bought a BMW when I was 19 years old, bankroll, and I made the shot. And then I bought another Beamer when I was 22 years old. Oh man, and for no reason. I bought those cars for no reason. I was just young in the hood, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, I'm gonna utilize my credit. I'm gonna buy these Beamers, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep on working, building my credit, and that was my whole thing. Now, had I known what I know now, I would never have done that because all I did was buy liabilities and put myself in a situation where I had to work 60, 80 hours a week just to maintain because I'm over here driving Beamers and whatnot, rather than, putting that money down on property and buying assets, which I learned completely different. And then once I learned that secret to like, oh snap, I could use credit for down payment on purchases and make sure that the money's all right, it becomes just a profit and loss game, right? It's like, wait, if I can borrow money from this place at 5%, and then I can use that money to invest into this that can pay me 12, 14, 20% return on investment, then that means I'm taking money from nowhere and getting 7% return investment on it. That, to me, that's mind-blowing. And then from that point, I bought almost $2 million in real estate, 27 apartment units, current to date, sold a few units into a bit of a flip, and all this came from leveraging my personal credit, which is why I'm making this video, because I want you to understand, listen, your credit can be repaired. It can be repaired so easily. You have a credit card. You know it's yours. I don't know. You have a limit of $2,000. You had it for a couple years. You lose the card. Somehow you hit a financial burden. Things don't go right. You lost the, you don't use the card anymore. You stop paying for it. You're no longer even checking your credit. You don't care. You're just like, whatever is gone is done. Okay. So now, the creditor reports that information to the credit bureau. The credit bureau makes that report, and that's your information. So you have a middleman right now. You have a credit bureau who, there's TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. You have 3 major credit bureaus who gather all this information about these credit lines. Now, according to the Fair Credit Reporting Act or agency, all information on that account has to be accurate and verifiable. So if you're thinking to yourself, wait, when I cut that credit card off, I had a $2,000 limit, but this is reporting that I had a $1,000 limit. That is inaccurate. So going back to the Fair Credit Reporting Act, if that is inaccurate, it has to be removed. Who reported inaccurate? The creditor or the bureau? As a consumer, as myself, it doesn't even matter. All I know is that's not accurate, and according to the act, or according to the law, if you must, it has to be taken off. Now think about it this way. The credit bureaus receive thousands of letters, thousands of dispute, hundreds of thousands of dispute, hundreds of thousands of letters, hundreds of thousands of just piles of information from everybody all on a daily basis. It all gets put into the computers, sometimes manually, sometimes electronically, and there are so many open doors for mistakes. And a lot of times, mistakes happen. Now listen, I'm not trying to tell you to abuse the system, but listen, if there's laws in place to protect consumers, then look to those laws first. Credit can be repaired very easily. If there's any kind of misaccurate or not correct or not verifiable document on your credit report, it can be taken off very easily and very fast. If you know somebody who can repair credit, reach out and start working on your credit now, because it's not that hard. If you're dealing with a professional who understands your credit laws and understands how to get things removed, it'll be a small fee. But right now, I check my credit every single month. And I mean, like, I pull my credit, like all 3 bureaus, like every single month, $30 a month, plus the monthly membership. Why? My credit is a huge asset to me. I was able to utilize and leverage my credit to build a 27-unit real estate portfolio. So obviously, the credit is key to a lot of my success. So I'm making this video right now to really express to you how important credit is and how you should know it and how you should be monitoring one of these free services every single month to know your credit score. Because even if you're not ready to use your credit right now, have your credit ready to go and prepped. So when the moment comes, when opportunity meets preparation, right? When opportunity meets preparation, you're good to go. But I hope that you understand the importance of having good credit and keeping your credit ready to go. So when you do put together a plan and you are strategic about using that credit to acquire larger lines of credit, and then using that larger lines of credit to acquire income producing assets like real estate or businesses, right? Or startups. There's just so many things that are available to you. But have your credit looking pretty, know your credit score. This is where we start off. Get Credit Karma right now, know your credit score. And if you want to go into it a little bit deeper than that, go to Experian or Credit Check Total, one of those credit monitoring websites. Sign up. When you go to opt out of it or cancel the subscription, they'll usually offer you a reduced membership. Get that. Know your credit. Or a lot of these credit cards these days, Capital One, whatever they are, Discover, they actually have free credit monitoring programs. Then there's also other ones you can pay for. Listen. So I hope this video today, pretty casual, just hits home to make you feel like, wait, I should really start looking into my credit and what kind of lines of credit I can start building now. That way when an opportunity is available and there is a business that I want to start, or there is a business that I want to purchase, or there's a property that I want to invest in, that my credit is good and ready to go. So go ahead, pull your credit now, know your credit. And next week, again, we're going to talk about how to build your personal credit, how to get started building your business credit, and even ways to start building your corporate credit. And with those levels of credit, the most important thing is just realizing that there's a system and things you can do to grow those lines. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I invite you, let's grow together.